Democrats make your case, there is a case to be made.
Give me a medical analogy. Is the economy on life support?
Everything Jessica said is true. Facts matter, and things are getting better.
After one of her unhinged right-wing co-hosts said that he hopes the economy doesn't get better next year so that President Biden isn't reelected, Jessica Tarlov, the only sane voice on the Fox propaganda network, was challenged to defend the president's record on the economy in about 20 seconds. And she did so well, in fact, that the next right-wing co-host to speak after her admitted that she was right. But before we unpack all that, if you haven't yet, please hit that like, subscribe, and the alert bell. All right, folks, I've got a couple of clips to play here. It's from the Fox propaganda show, The Five, featuring Jessica Tarlov, who is a favorite of this channel. She has the hardest job in mainstream media, as I've said before, even more so than progressive commentator Mehdi Hasan, who is my favorite mainstream progressive commentator, because Jessica Tarlov is in the lion's den. She's in enemy territory, and she's usually outnumbered 4-1 by some of the best propagandists and liars employed by the Fox propaganda network. Okay, they're constantly heckling her and interrupting her, and yet she prevails far more often than not. And in this particular episode, it's really no different, except the roster of people she's up against. Greg Gutfeld, Dana Perino, Janine Pirro, Jesse Waters. I guess they're on holiday or something. They're not there. So she's up against 4 other Trump-loving, Biden-hating right-wingers. So with that in mind, and knowing that the topic is the economy, let's play the clips and unpack them together.
That's right, Joey. This reminds me a couple of weeks ago when he says, you're looking at the wrong polls. He keeps saying that, wrong polls.
I hope he believes it. I hope he believes it so he kind of rests on his laurels, doesn't campaign too hard, although he did become president from a basement. But I don't want him to take it too seriously because I don't think he can fix it, but I don't want him to start putting Band-Aids on that make things look a little bit better for a short period of time in order to get reelected. I don't want that to happen.
So the reason I want to play that particular clip first is just to give you context of what Jessica Tarlov is up against in this particular segment. That's how unhinged these people are. You have a right-wing commentator on the biggest mainstream news network in existence, or at least in the United States, and he's saying, with respect to the economy, trying to downplay the president's economic message, he's like, listen, I hope the president doesn't take the economy too seriously. I hope he doesn't try to make things better. I hope he ignores the polling on the economy, which is, for the most part, pretty bad for him, although signs indicate it's getting better, as we'll get to in a minute, because he doesn't want Biden to get reelected. So think about that. He and other right-wingers are saying, wow, this economy is terrible for working class Americans. People are suffering. And then he's also saying, I hope the president doesn't take it seriously. I hope the president doesn't try to fix it. I hope this president doesn't put Band-Aids on it because I don't want the president to get reelected. Like the dissonance there, this guy's probably too stupid to realize what he just admitted. That he wants deliberate pain and cruelty in order to hurt Biden politically. That's what motivates these right-wingers, these Republicans. Absolutely unhinged. I'll also point out before we play the next clip, which features Jessica, that he also admitted that he doesn't think the president can fix economic woes single-handedly. I don't think he can fix it. That's the most honest thing that he said. See, when it comes to Fox News and a lot of right-wing media, when the economy is good, and there's a Republican in charge, they want to credit it entirely to the Republican president, okay? When the economy is bad and it's under a Democratic president, it's all the Democratic president's fault. But the truth is, anybody who pays attention to economics really will tell you that as powerful as the president is not God. He can't snap his fingers and change gas prices or, take inflation down or cut interest rates. That's done by the Fed. Like, he has to work within a system. So I will say, amidst all the unhinged stuff that this guy just said, at least he did admit that the president can't wave a magic wand, no matter who is president, and fix economic anxiety. So with that in mind, let's play Jessica Tarlov because she's challenged to defend the president's record on the economy.
Jessica, where do we go from here? 20 seconds to defend Joe Biden, the indefensible.
We go right back to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue because we do have good economic news. But the media doesn't want to cover it. He is correct about that. He shouldn't just say, you're looking at the wrong thing. They need to communicate this better. But we got revised third quarter GDP growth up to 4.9%. Unheard of. Consumer confidence went up 14%, largest jump in a decade. Inflation is running at an annualized rate below Powell's target, which is why he's talking about a rate cut. Personal income's up. Grocery and energy prices down last month. In the Quinnipiac poll, this part of it is really important. They did a forward-looking question. What do you think 2024 is going to be like? 48% say the economy is going to be better, and 62% think that they are going to be better off in the next year. When is the election? November 2024. Democrats, make your case. There is a case to be made.
Wow, that was a good job, Jessica.
Thank you.
Okay, doctor,
So before I play this next part, again, I want to say that was a really good job. That was excellent. She's so good at this. The fact that she's able to put these facts together and spray them out to an audience that would probably otherwise not hear them. And she also makes an interesting point. We're starting to see signs that economic attitudes or attitudes about the economy are improving, which is what consumer confidence is. If you ask Americans in a certain way, they may say that they feel the economy's bad, but they don't act like it. They don't spend like it. They don't behave like it. There's a dissonance there, which goes to show that much of this is about propaganda. Much of this is about the fact that the Democrats have not done a good job of conveying the economic facts about unemployment, about wage gains, about the reduction in inflation. So as she said, there is a case to be made. But as we talk about on this channel, the facts don't speak for themselves. They never have. They never will. And so next year, Democrats, the president, and their surrogates, people like you and me, we have to make the case relentlessly. But how did Jessica do? I would say pretty well, especially when you get this kind of concession.
give me a medical analogy. Is the economy on life support?
Everything Jessica said is true. Facts matter, and things are getting better, but they're still pretty bad, and people are really hurting when it comes to their rent, when it comes to their food, and their energy, and everything else. So President Biden needs to acknowledge that Americans are still suffering. They can't buy a home. They can't.
So listen, the fact that she began facts matter and Jessica, everything Jessica said was right, and there's a case to be made here, folks, that's huge. The fact that she would then follow it up and say, oh, things are terrible, blah, 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 and then emphasize the negative. But the fact of the matter is that you have a right-wing, Trump-supporting, Biden-hating co-host saying, actually, everything that Jessica Tarlov just said with respect to the economic facts are absolutely true, and facts matter. And then, of course, she tried to spin it. To me, that's huge. That kind of public instant concession, damn, you did such a good job. Yeah, I got to admit it. That's awesome. So, again, we're heading into an election year. There's still time for the president and Democrats and people on the left to make the case that the economy will be doing better and is doing better typically under Democrats relative to Republicans, which is a historic fact, right? And now also, as we talked about in a previous video, one of the things that allows Republicans and especially Trump to enjoy so much confidence from the American people on the economy is the fact that they relentlessly tell people that they're better for the economy. It is a feedback loop, right? Facts and feelings are different, but I mean, feelings ultimately are what people vote on. So it doesn't matter if the facts are on our side. If we can't convince people that the facts matter and the facts apply to them, they're going to vote for Republicans as we head into the next election year. So this is our chance to correct the course now. And I think Jessica Tarlov made a pretty compelling case. Let me know what you think in the comments.